All right. So where do we begin? You're graduating senior. It is your time to shine. I think a great place I like to start is tell me about what it was like. Can you remember back as your freshman year in high school, as you looked at, you had the advantage of having an older sibling, I know that, but your
Yeah.
own journey is your own journey. So could you give your freshman self any advice that you wish somebody would have given you?
Hmm. I guess as a freshman, I guess that was still a little bit during the like pandemic times, and so it's just a bit stressful. Um, I think I would give myself advice to like try more things my freshman year because I think I had a lot more free time then, and it would have been fun to try different activities and stuff that I'm like too busy for now.
I love that. That's so wise because a lot of times we feel busy, but you're nothing like your junior and senior year, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit. When did we first meet? Let's see. Did I get to start with you in eighth grade?
I think so. Either like end of eighth grade, maybe the summer before freshman year.
Okay. Wow. How the time has flown by. So compared to when we started eighth, going into ninth grade to where you're at now, what do you think has been the most significant contribution College Ready has made for you being a part of College Ready?
Yeah, I guess just like having quarterly meetings with my consultant has been really useful because I just get her advice on everything. Like I make a list of questions sometimes, and just like providing a lot of resources. It is definitely like what you make of it and what you use of it. But it's very helpful, especially around the time of the college application season. I would text Christine and I'd be like, please help me edit my essay. And she would look at them at like all hours of the day. So it was really helpful and really kind.
Ah, that's so perfect. So there's so many things just having somebody on your side, it sounds like was the easiest part for you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about your colleges. So I know what colleges you got into, but maybe can you share how many colleges did you end up applying to?
Actually, wait, I have a little list. Let me take a look at it.
You got it.
Okay, so I applied to, I applied to 14 colleges and then all the UCs.
Okay. Every UC?
Yeah, my mom wanted me to apply to all of them, even though there's definitely a few that I was like, I'm not sure I would go there if I got in, but you never
Yeah.
know. So,
I love mom. Mom is so great. So
yeah.
out of those schools, how many did you get accepted to?
Well, I got
Oh,
accepted into every UC. Um,
wow. Every
and
one of them?
yeah,
That is a huge accomplishment. I think you are well, you're definitely my first student who has applied to every single one of them. But you are also my first student in 17 years to get into every one of them
oh
in
wow.
2024. Woo,
Thank
that is a
you.
huge accomplishment. Okay, can you list off all the schools you were accepted to? Let's just say all the
Sure.
UCs and
Chapman, um, Concordia, Biola, Pepperdine. I got into Westmont, Cal State Long Beach, Loyola Marymount, Cal Lutheran, and Rice University.
wow, you threw Rice, just that was a
I saved the
surprise.
best for last.
That was a big surprise. I'm like, oh, you pulled a little Texas on me.
I did. I only applied to two out of state schools. I was like, I really want to stay in California, but I kind of wanted to do two like selected schools. Like, what if I get in, you know? So,
Yeah. So now let's talk about the UCs for a moment. You currently live in California,
yes.
and social media would have it that nobody in California gets into the UC schools. So let's talk a little bit about what was the GPA that you had going into application season?
I want to say it was 4.6.
Outstanding. Okay, check that box. What was your test score?
Oh, I got a 1580.
Wow. See, there again, double check. Now, what do you think it was on your whole resume? I mean, of course, we had 4 years to work together, but on your whole resume, what your application, your essays, what do you think personally got you into all the UCs?
Honestly, that is hard because I definitely feel like there's some element of it that could be a little random. I know other people who are very talented and skilled and like maybe didn't get in some or got into USC but not the UCs, and like I did the opposite. I got into the UCs and not USC. So I don't know, but I guess I guess it is really a combination. I think for me, I really did focus on academics. So for me, it was like GPA and stuff like that. And then I did try to have like a decent amount of extracurriculars. Like I didn't do sports or anything, but I did like try to get leadership roles. I was on a leadership team and I mentored and tutored people. And I did a lot of I did a lot of internships, even short ones that were related to what I want to major in.
Mhm.
And I guess I just tried to show a lot of sides of me with the essays too. Like I wrote one about like my creative side and I like tried to show like maybe like personal growth in that and like not being perfect too. I think like you can brag in your essays, but you can also kind of like show them you're a little humble. And and then I also like wrote an essay about why I love biology and I wrote an essay about like my leadership experience and like maybe tied it a little bit to my family and things like that. So I guess just trying to show them all the sides of me and being like, look, I'm a complete person was
The
definitely
whole
good.
package with the bow. I love it. I love it. What was the major that you applied to in the UCs?
Um, I mostly applied just like different biology majors. So like whenever there was like a molecular genetics type option, I would apply that. Otherwise, just like general biology or biochem maybe.
Yeah, so it's not like you picked some random major. You were going after one of the big majors, which is super exciting. And so GPA check, community service. What did you do there that maybe helped you?
I felt like that was an area where I was lacking a little bit. I did I was a what's it called? I was a mentor for like international students at my school. So that was kind of a leadership program, kind of service um for 2 years. And then I did do some peer tutoring. Um, I'm not sure if I'm forgetting anything. But I didn't. Oh, I'm also part of Key Club. I guess I'm not a big part of it, so I haven't done a lot with it, but I have done like a little bit of like planning volunteer stuff with them. And I did try to do a passion project my freshman year. It didn't last very long, to be honest, but it was a little fun. So it was like it got to include like singing and like talent stuff and um yeah.
I remember, wasn't that during COVID that we tried to pull that together?
Yeah. Sometimes it was hard because like it's hard to get other people involved in it, but
It was such a fun idea, though. It showed a totally non-biology side of you. It
yeah,
was
I think
really
so.
fun. So, so creative. Through this process, what do you think you have learned the most about yourself?
Hmm.
Mm.
That's a good question. I think, yeah, it is a lot of introspection, especially while you're writing the essays and you're like, what do I want them to know about me? And like, what do I know about me? And um, honestly, something I learned is how much I value my community, not just like in a general sense, but like I value like the people in my life and like the way that my family has raised me and like the friends that I've been surrounded with and like, and even if I didn't write directly about that, I was like thinking about that. I was like, how much I just like care about connecting with people and like how valuable that has been to me.
Mhm.
Um, and I guess I've also just had a little bit clearer direction of where I want to go. I'm still not fully decided on exactly what career I want to do, but I guess writing my essays and thinking about my experiences and what I enjoyed about them. I guess once you're forced to write about the different internships and things you've done, you're not just writing what you did, you're like, what was actually valuable about that to me? And I think that helps guide you a little.
Oh my gosh, that's such great advice. We say that to students all the time, and you just said it. So now they're going to listen, right? Because
I don't know.
you are truly a valuable asset to them. Let's talk
Thank
about the
you.
application process itself. I often tell students it is a very challenging time, but what did you find the most challenging part and the surprisingly easy part?
I guess the easier parts are just like filling in a lot of background info. It can seem overwhelming, but I guess if you do that first, you kind of get it out of the way. It's pretty chill. Um, and then the hardest part is definitely the essay writing. It was definitely a process of like brainstorming and then just write it out. And I don't like this draft, and let me write another one. And like ask for advice from the people around you and people who know you, like talking it out. Like I don't know, my writing process sometimes I don't really like brainstorming to be honest, so I just write and then sometimes see where it goes. You kind of just word vomit and then edit and edit, keep editing. So there are definitely some late nights, but that was the most stressful part, I think. But once it's done, it's very relieving.
So I know you mentioned Christine was kind of your go-to for that. I really need somebody else's eyes on this. And Christine being your consultant, also a really good writer. What are some of the things she was able to help you do?
Well, some of it was just like basic grammatical editing. Like I think depending on how far along I was in writing it, she can kind of tell like, does this just need a little bit of editing or is this an essay you've already written? And um, there was definitely one essay I wrote that she read it and she was like, this is a really selective school and this is kind of a generic essay. I think you should rewrite it and like focus on more on this. Like, like be more genuine. Like that's what you want to show them. And so yeah, so I rewrote it and I was a lot happier with it. It was a super selective school. I didn't end up getting it, but good advice nonetheless. So
Sure, right? Every part of the process, you learn a little bit more. And so, have you made your final decision as to which school you're going to be going to?
I haven't officially made the decision. I'm like very much leaning towards UCLA. My sister is there, and so I feel like she could guide me a little bit, which is what I'm worried about a big school. And it's a great school and has lots of opportunities, and it's close enough to home that I could visit home on the weekends. So it's a really great option.
So, you know how many students got rejected from UCLA this year? Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's always getting more selective.
right. And I remember when we got your sister in there and we thought, whoa, here we go. This is amazing. The
Yeah,
fact that we got siblings into UCLA, your parents must be incredibly proud of you.
they are. They're very proud. They're biggest supporters.
Truly. And they have been since the day we met. I mean, the first time I met your parents, they just had you, what was best for you, the girls in mind. And I think that's why you've been so successful is I never saw them push you into anything, just support you in the direction you were going.
Yeah, I definitely felt like, if I ever felt pressured, it was always explained. It was like, I want you to be successful and I want you to do what you want to do. And like, I think this is a good option. And it's like, yeah, like I'll go along with that. So just like giving more like advice and just like encouraging me. And I really appreciate that.
So wise. Now, what about the student portal, the vault, the place with all the details, all the information? Could you imagine applying to college without that?
I think it would be a lot harder.
Right. Yeah, it could be a lot more overwhelming to try to navigate that all on your own. Was there a certain part of the vault that you found most helpful?
Um, I don't think I utilized it enough, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like I should have gone in a lot more. But I think the fact that it had like, how some of them have like the FISC guides, I
Mhm.
think those are helpful for like seeing, like researching schools and kind of understanding like the culture there. Like for me, when I was deciding which schools to apply to, sometimes I would refer to that and I'd be like, okay, I want to apply to maybe two of the Claremont colleges, maybe not all five, like which ones would I be interested in applying to? And then I would read some and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not so interested in that, but maybe I like that. So I think that's a helpful guide.
So the research part, it sounds like it was able to help you narrow down some of your college choices.
Yeah.
Outstanding. My favorite question is, what are you looking most forward to in college?
Um, hmm. I guess it's always been a little bit scary, and now I'm excited too about it. I guess I'm looking forward to and nervous about just being a little more independent. Like I love relying on my family and everything, and like being at a small school and all of that's super valuable to me. But it's also like, going out into the real world someday, and this is kind of a chance to just kind of go and like explore, make friends, and just get to know people and prepare for the future.
You are so ready. I can't wait for you to step onto campus. I mean, you've been there, right? You've visited your sister. Your
Yeah,
family will always be your support system. So I know you're going to be successful. My
thank
final
you.
question is, if you were going to tell a student who's just starting the application process some really good words of wisdom, what would you share?
So like starting the application process, like they're
Yeah,
gonna be
like
a senior
picking
next year.
colleges, like that
Okay.
piece.
Okay. Oh, it's hard. I guess just like do more research early on. I guess I had a very tentative list at the beginning, and that's why I ended up applying to a lot of schools. And now I'm like, okay, a few of those were all safety schools that are very similar. So I guess just do more research early on, do more college visits, um, and like kind of have an idea of like what you want.
Ah, such wise advice. I am so excited for you. And
Thank you.
please share I know it's getting closer. I know I can feel it. I can't wait till it's just stamped and solid. But thank you so much for sharing. And I look forward to your continued success.
Thank you so much.